Hello friend, and welcome to the slowest sim driving channel on YouTube. You join us for some Formula G. Yes, not Formula E, because you can't do that in Gran Turismo Sport, so instead we came up with a way of working the fuel and tyres to replicate a Formula E race. We've got John Boy on pole, they hit Multi alongside of him, we've got Saflish and Tweetman on row 2, Daniel Legend and Dens on row 3, Adders and Golfy on row 4. There are more cars further back, we're not going to worry too much about them right now. I'm going to keep some data on the screen at the bottom, so we're keeping an eye on fuel and tyres. A bit of carnage down the middle as people shot off the line. They hit Melty, taking a very early lead there. Who's got there? We've got Tweetman in second, Saflish is third, we've got Daniel Legend in fourth. But they hit Melty, making an amazing start. These cars, unlike other cars we race on this channel, have an overtake button. That is down in the bottom right hand corner. A little gauge there. You can see Melty used a little bit of overtake there to get the car off the line. This is a 40-minute race, but we're just going to show you the highlights. Saflish is there in third, hanging on. Daniel Legend in fourth, hanging on. So now it's going to come down to staying in slipstreams, managing the fuel. Tyres should be okay. They will start to go off as the race progresses, but not to the point they'll have to pit. So they'll just have to be careful on them. Pitting is prohibited in this format. Oh, Daniel Legend there and Saflish getting a bit into each other. That brings John Boy up into the mix. Got some great liveries here today. Everybody's made their own livery for the car, so that's great. This is going to be a whole league season, so look out for this. Oh no, Daniel Legend has gone. He's put the power down too soon. He slots in 7th place behind Yvonne. So yes, I was saying, look out for this on the channel. There's going to be more videos for the rest of the season. They hit Melty and Tweetman there getting away. John Boy also making a break. So these are your top three. They're probably using a lot of fuel compared to those behind them, but we will see. Saflish is still hanging on in fourth. Dens has moved up to fifth. He's profited from Daniel Legend going off the track there. The Sardinia Road Track A selected for this because it's basically a road track, as you would expect to see in a Formula E race. John Boy is catching Tweetman right now. He's really on the move. I think he's definitely got a slipstream there. Is he pushing too hard? I don't know. He's not using the overtake button for a start, so he must be saving that until later. There's a definite slipstream there. I think he's going to try and make a move for second. Not here, he's still too far back. One of the best places, I think, for making a move is going to be turn 1. Saflish has gone too far into that corner, lost position to Dens, and put himself under pressure from Daniel Legend behind him. So that was unlucky. Oh, and again, overdriving the car there, just out too far. That scrubs off a lot of momentum. Daniel Legend there trying to go around the outside. Round the outside, round the outside. Didn't quite work out. But now Saflish has got the slipstream down that first corner into that heavy braking zone at the end of this main straight. Is this going to be a move? Oh, there's been a move up ahead while we were watching that. We didn't see it. John Boy got past Tweetman. So John Boy up into second place. There's just too much going on to watch and see everything that's going on. So I'm very sorry about that. John Boy, they're going a little bit defensive. Tweetman has used some of the overtake button, so perhaps Tweetman just nursing that car a little bit, trying not to use too much fuel, use the overtake button instead for keeping up. Save as much as he can until the end of the race. Here we go for a bit of a sprint. Further down, we've got Sophie's made up into 7th. And Golfy in 8th, so there's a lot of movement going on in the midfield as well. You can see actually on the map in the top right corner there is an awful lot going on. Other cars piled together. Tweetman having a look there. John Boy just squeezed him. I think there's enough space there left. That's fine. They're left. They're left there. Yep, it's going to be like this for the rest of the video. I do apologise. Tweetman hanging on very, very well to John Boy. If you keep half an eye on that overtake meter in the bottom right corner, it will go red when it's being used. There you go, just like that. So Tweetman pushing there just to give yourself a little bit more acceleration. Gonna stay on John Boy's back. Oh, John Boy taking a little bit of dirt there. That might scrub some of his momentum off. And you do need momentum when you're fuel saving. All these cars are in the same compound. They're all on racing mediums. So there's nobody with a tyre advantage. Treatment a little bit squirrely as he tries to put the power down. Still all over the back of John Boy, but is he trying to pass? Or is he just trying to save fuel in that slipstream? Because that is a very valid strategy. The AMLT up ahead better have some decent ideas for fuel saving, because he's pushing hard. Okay, take a deep breath. Let's see where we're at. Melty still leads to John Boy, and then Tweetman, this battle you can see here for second and third. Denz, Safalicious, Daniel Legend, Sophie and Golfy, and Tweetman makes the dive. Doesn't quite get it done. John Boy gets plenty of momentum out of that corner. Oh, but he's left the door open, and Tweetman's gone through it. So Tweetman back up to second place. John Boy down to third. What a great battle. Let's hope this continues. I want to see more of this, if you don't mind. Thank you very much, boys. Tweetman and John Boy coming down to the main straight to start lap number 5. Oh, great shot of Tweetman's car there. Of course, They Hate Melty has gone. he's off on his own. John Boy trying to go around the outside, having a look. Nothing doing there. Tweetman just takes his normal line, hits the apex. There's nowhere at all for John Boy to go. Further back, Golfy's shot up to 6th. I'm not quite sure what happened there. McFlurry 7th. Oh, I got up to 8th, so that's nice. But back here at the sharp end, it just looks like John Boy is just hanging on there to Tweetman. And I'm wondering if in fact John Boy hasn't mapped the overtake button, because if he hasn't mapped that button, that's going to be a bit of an issue. He's going to be at a disadvantage. Tweetman probably using a little bit more fuel at this point than John Boy, I'd say. We will find out later on. It's about 7 minutes in now, and in fact you want about 3/4 of a tank of fuel when you get to the 10-minute mark. Just split it into 10, 20, 30, 40-minute intervals, and it looks as though John Boy is very much down on fuel. He's already used 1/4 of his fuel up, and he's not 1/4 of the way into the race yet. So whatever John Boy is doing, it does not involve fuel saving. It just involves chasing after Tweetman in front of him. Okay, John Boy, we're going to assume you know what you're doing and let you get on with that. Have we got a move coming? Into the first corner, John Boy again, he's going to send it out wide. No room there. Ah, so frustrating for him. The tyre wear is pretty good on these cars. It's not going to affect them too much. As you can see in the bottom left corner there, the tyres barely even scrubbing. John Boy sending everything except the overtake button at Tweetman at this stage, and in fact he goes purple, so he's the fastest driver in that first sector of the race. We've got a couple of cars right at the very back. 11th and 12th seem to have had some sort of a major incident and have ended up absolutely miles away. Tweetman goes defensive, probably a good call. Can John Boy get around the outside? He cannot. He does have a look though. Who's going to get the best drive up here? Definitely look like Tweetman this time around. What a battle, but unfortunately, because they're fighting each other and obviously having to make defensive moves, that means they're losing touch with They Hate Melty at the front. John Boy looks much closer this time. Is he going to have a better run down that main straight? Are we going to see the move? He's in the slipstream. It looked like a little bit of jink there from Tweetman, trying to just break that slipstream. Tweetman taking the defensive line, goes back over to his regular line in the braking zone, and once again, John Boy just can't match him. He'll try, but he can't. So Tweetman there, just do what he needs to do. Perhaps using that overtake button as he needs to, using just enough fuel. We're going to jump to him now. That overtake button has already been more than a quarter used, but the fuel is less than a quarter used. So Tweetman is hitting his fuel targets, and it looks like he's keeping ahead of John Boy using the overtake button. Meanwhile, at the front, barely using the overtake button is They Hate Melty. He's round about the correct target for fuel, 75% fuel, and about to hit 75% of the race left. So he's doing all right up at the front, no problems there. As long as these two keep fighting, this should be Melty's race to win. John Boy, foot down, trying to catch up with Tweetman, but it looks as though Tweetman's just starting to pull away now. Unless John Boy can really nail this last corner, he's not going to be able to get a decent slipstream on the straight. It did look like John Boy was actually a little bit closer than I thought there, though. Okay, but he's still too far back. In the background, Den's there threatening. It looks like Den's actually catching up with these two. So clear Den's pushing a little. I do think John Boy's too far back for a move. It's a 129. So it's a pretty decent lap time. They're certainly shifting, these two. They're very, very close, but it looks as though Tweetman's just backing off just enough to save fuel and then getting the hammer down when John Boy gets close. It's a good tactical drive, this. It could go either way. But look out, that's about 60% of fuel now that John Boy's got. He's got an issue because he's still got half an hour of racing to go. Basically 75% of the race. That maths doesn't work out. Assume that John Boy is planning to do some sort of absolute banzai fuel saving at some point, perhaps turn the engine down and then short shift and, you know, crawl around. Oh, is this going to be a move? Tweetman taking a defensive line through that corner every lap. It's causing him to lose a lot of time through there to Melty. And that's not what he needs at this point. Of course, we can see the fuel measurements, and Tweetman can't. He won't know that John Boy's using a lot of fuel right now. John Boy, I suspect, is trying to make Tweetman burn fuel, but it's not really working. Tweetman, one of the experts of our regular drivers when it comes to saving fuel. Also, They Hate Melty, another driver who really knows how to save fuel. So he's not lapping particularly quickly, but he's doing what he needs to do to just stay ahead. John Boy having a look. Nope, not this time. So very much status quo here. If anything, it looks as though Tweetman is starting to pull away from John Boy. He's much further ahead through there, and maybe at this point John Boy's just started to turn the engine down a little, or perhaps start short shifting, lifting and coasting. Den's here in fourth. He's definitely catching up with these two. He's okayish for fuel. Saphalicious has got plenty of fuel, actually. I think Saphalicious is perfectly on target there with the fuel. Daniel Legend in sixth. He's looking good on fuel. What about Sophie? Lots of fuel. Wow. Okay, and Golfy in eighth. So they're all about the same fuel in this mid-pack. Oh, Golfy there taking a little bit of war with him. That's going to slow him down. Here's your grandpa, and about the same amount of fuel as everybody else. That's all good. Got Adders there in 10th. Always nice to see Adders. We don't see him too often outside the SSBB races. But back at the front, still John Boy chasing down Tweetman, and he can't do anything with it. About 55% of fuel left, and that's going to be an issue come the end of the race. John Boy moves into second. Is that a wise move? Should he have been staying behind Tweetman perhaps and saving fuel there in the slipstream? I don't know. Maybe he's just so focused on the fight that he hasn't noticed how much fuel he's actually using, which would be a real shame. But he's clearly got a strategy. Let's see how the strategy plays out. They Hate Melty up the road, but we can still see him. Unlike some races where you have drivers that just shoot off into distance and are gone forever, they're also fuel conscious that the drivers just are thinking as hard as they're driving. Tweetman sticking in John Boy's slipstream there. You've got to wonder if Tweetman is just saving some fuel up so they can turn the engine up and go banzai on John Boy. But we shall wait and see. If you look at the top of the screen at the mini map, it looks as though Dens has broken away from the pack, and Safalicious has broken away from the pack as well. So those drivers on their own, doing their own thing. Maybe just saving a little bit of fuel for later. Let's see what comes of them. It looks as though Melty is closer. I think John Boy and Tweetman actually catching Melty at this point in the race. That's very interesting. I don't know if that's intentional lifting by Melty or if it's a really scruffy lap. And John Boy here very consistent with his laps at the moment. Although approaching half fuel, I guess he could still do it as long as he doesn't push too hard. It's a risky strategy. Do you want to track position? Here is the track position. Perhaps John Boy and Tweetman both hoping that perhaps Melty is burning more fuel than he actually is at this stage. It seems the Melty strategy was just to get ahead using the overtake at the start and then hold that position. Just try and hold station, keep the gap as it is with the cars behind him, knowing that everybody else has got exactly the same issue with fuel, because all of these cars are absolutely identical. There's no setup, no tuning. They are all straight out of the box, and that's what's making the racing so close in the midfield. But up here, look how close Tweetman is now to the back of John Boy's car. We're going to have a bit more of a battle. It's not over yet. Tricky corner this. Take too much speed into there, you're going to get onto that grass. Another tricky corner. This is the tightest corner on the track, I believe. Difficult to get that right. I mean, you can get around it, but you get it right, you can carry some speed through there. I can't. I'm no good at that corner. Tweetman taking a very aggressive line across the curb there, lining up John Boy. Is he going to try to take that position back, or is he just going to try and use that slipstream? We're going to find out in just a moment. No, he's just using the slipstream right now. Saving that fuel. So another driver who's perhaps thinking towards the end of the race about turning the wick up and really getting the hammer down for the end of the race. Oh, so let's see where we're at. They hit Melty leads. John Boy and Tweetman scobbling over second and third. Oh, Tweetman's going for the move. Tweetman going up the inside. John Boy holding his line. It looks like Tweetman got a little bit squirrely on the exit there, but still got plenty of drives, trying to go around the outside of this section. We've got a very heavy braking zone coming up. Tweetman, I think, trying to make that move before the braking zone. Has he got it? Yeah, he's in front. So Tweetman up into second. John Boy down to third. Den's still fourth. Safalicious still fifth. Daniel Legend still sixth. Then we've got Sophie in seventh and Golfy in eighth place. Wow. Well, it's been pretty action-packed up at the front, and that's what we like to see. Both second and third there looking a little bit squirrely. They're both pushing very hard trying to get the power down. Just want to note that John Boy's just dipped under 50% of his fuel, and he's not quite the halfway stage in the race yet. So John Boy perhaps now dropping back because he's thinking about fuel saving rather than because Tweetman is outpacing him. Yeah, there's definite gap building there, and the engine notes from John Boy's car sounded a lot lower than they have on previous laps. So I think he's short shifting at this point. Perhaps turn the engine down as well, just a little bit, and then maybe try and use Tweetman's slipstream as much as possible to help him move along. Okay, so this battle of second and third may be over for the time being. That doesn't mean it's over altogether. We will wait and see what comes of it in the future. Everybody else now very much as they were. Just over halfway in the race. Got Dens still in fourth. Here he is. Dens seems to be bang on there with the fuel. Same for Safalicious in fifth. Hitting those fuel targets. Well done, guys. Golfy somehow made it up to sixth. So well done to him. Somebody else who's hitting the fuel targets. And we've got Daniel Legend who just managed to sweep past him. Wow. Good bit from Daniel Legend there, who's about right on fuel. We've got Sophie in the E-Team Brick car in 8th. And the sister E-Team Brick car, they're not sisters, but it's the sister car, Move on. In 9th, I've got myself in 10th. Trying to go for the move. Probably not going to make it happen on this lap. Adder's in 11th. Lots of fuel in Adder's car. He's been saving loads of fuel behind this pack. McFlurry Twist down in 12th. Not quite sure what's happened to him today. Usually a very fast driver. Seems to be having some sort of issue with this car. Maybe not quite gelling with it as much as he could. But here is your race leader, They Hate Melty, who now has nobody behind him. Nobody in front of him. The track is his. Approaching the 25-minute mark, we've got Safalicious now catching Dens. So Dens perhaps fuel saving heavily at this point. Safalicious not so much. And this is the drive up to that heavy braking zone in the top right of the map. In the here at Sardinia. And Safalicious not quite in position that time, but certainly closing in. So this is another battle brewing between 4th and 5th. Everybody wants every position that's available. No exception. It doesn't matter if you're battling for first or you're battling for second to last. Everybody wants the position in front of them. And oh, Safalicious puts the power down a little bit too heavy there. It gets very, very squirrely. You just see Daniel Legend there in the background. So the mid-pack not too far away from these guys. And that's John Boy up ahead. So John Boy's really fallen away from Tweetman. He's really saving fuel hard. Safalicious, another driver who's not been touching the overtake button. Perhaps somebody who's just not got it mapped. About 10 minutes of the race left. And Dens has caught up to John Boy. So John Boy's fuel saving really hurting him now. That's something he'll certainly figure out for the next round. That he needs to be fuel saving right from the start of the race. Because this is painful for him. As you can see, he's not quite on his fuel target. He's got to really, really save it. And that's gonna be painful at this point in the race. Dens lines him up. This should be an easy pass for Dens, who we know is on his fuel target. There we go. Looks absolutely perfect on fuel there. So Dens up onto the final step of the podium. And in 3rd place, oh, it looks as though John Boy was about to have a look back, but thought better of it. Not much use in fighting when there's a massive speed difference. Look at Dens already pulling away from John Boy there. Just thanks to having that extra fuel and the ability to push on a higher engine mode. So is John Boy also going to be vulnerable to Safalicious, because Safalicious not too far back there in the background of the shot, the red and black car. Safalicious there with a bit of a dirty tyre. Looks like there's perhaps been a bit of an off, maybe pushing hard. Actually the front right tyre of the car appears to have taken a battering, so that's because it's an anti-clockwise track. That's always going to be the tyre which takes the most of a pounding. Safalicious now chasing down John Boy. It looks as though it's only a matter of time, this. Is he going to make the move this time around? He's not. It's going to be way too far back. But it does seem as though Dens isn't actually pulling away too quickly. So maybe 3rd place is still up for grabs from Safalicious. We'll have to wait and see. John Boy is the cork in the Safalicious bottle. We'll have to wait to see how long it takes to actually clear him. John Boy now with a fuel warning. Not good when there's 6 minutes of racing left. Of course, how much fuel they actually need is going to be determined by whereabouts They Hate Melty is when the timer hits 40 minutes, because he will still have to finish his lap. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. There's a few variables in play. You ideally want to keep 1 lap of fuel extra. Yeah, John Boy there cleared quite easily by Safalicious, who's now going to chase off after Dens. But is John Boy now going to fall into the hands of that mid-pack and get swallowed up? That would be unfortunate after such a great start. And battling there for 2nd place. But you know, you use your fuel too soon, and nothing left for the end. Speaking of using that fuel, these cars all around the south of the track, whereas They Hate Melty and Tweetman are up at the north of the track. They're They're just in a league of their own at the moment. Here is Tweetman chasing down Melty. Here's Melty. Just 5 minutes of racing approximately left. He's just on a 126.8, so no fuel saving going on here. The overtake almost depleted, so he's giving it everything now just to make sure he can stay ahead of Tweetman. He's also getting a fuel warning. Tweetman's got lots of fuel. Oh, Melty there. Just get onto the grass. We have dirty tyres for this next corner. Must be careful. And that is Melty around. You have to get going quickly. No, he doesn't do it. Tweetman sweeps past him. Oh, Melty there on the overtake button trying to get the car accelerated, but Tweetman has jumped him. And Tweetman has got more fuel. So at this point, Tweetman can really push. So we've had a change for the lead. That is a disaster for Melty, who led for perhaps 36 minutes plus. So the majority of the race. One mistake, spinning the car there. I don't know if that was caused by the dirt on his tyres from the mistake on the previous straight. But that is a disaster. And John Boy, it seems, is out of fuel. That doesn't look good. That's the big mid-pack about to absolutely swallow him. He's going to lose a massive amount of places. But here's Tweetman coming around, approaching the finish line, and we hit 40 minutes, so that's it. There's the checkered flag. No more laps. Tweetman wins with consistency. They Hate Melty doesn't win because of that mistake. He comes second. We've got Dens coming in third. Oh, has he got enough fuel to make it to the end? Is he going to make it to the finish line? I think Dens might have to get out and push. Oh, he's in trouble. Dens is in trouble. Here comes Safalicious around the last corner. Oh, it's going to be so close. But Dens manages it. Safalicious comes in fourth. Is Yvonne going to make it fifth? Yvonne as well, very marginal on fuel. Is Yvonne fifth? That's Daniel Legend sixth, myself seventh. Here comes Golfy. Oh, Golfy's out of fuel as well. McFlurry Twist, who's just been hanging back, comes through, just snatches eighth. Golfy ninth. Adders 10th. Oh, and here's Sophie. Sophie's run out of fuel as well. So Sophie and John Boy just miscalculated. As did Dens, but Dens got away with it. Oh, go on, Sophie. Across the line you go. And John Boy is somewhere miles away. Oh, unlucky. After fighting for P2 at the start of the race. But it's talking about experience. And there's Tweetman, your race winner. That's round one sewn up, so now you know who the big players are. I think in round two, the drivers are going to come back just a little bit more prepared. And we're going to see some very different strategies. I hope you'll join us for that, because I think this is going to be an absolutely fantastic series. Especially if Tweetman and They Hate Melty have their usual rivalry. Thanks for watching. If this is your first time here, please give us a like and maybe subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Thank you very much to my Discord. Be good to yourself. Be good to those around you. Bye bye.